Hello everyone, welcome in today's video. So today we are going to look at the 4 approaches to desktop app development. In a couple of weeks, I've been working on different projects specifically for desktop apps. I've built specifically 2 big applications, one for the business management system, as you can see here, okay, and the second one is for the real estate management system with apartments and shops. And unfortunately, I cannot show the data because this app is already in production. So today we are going to discuss different technologies, and this could help you choose which one to use, because I had to go to the through all of them, and I had to actually end up one of the things why I created Even Great was because of this. And so let's just dive in and get started. So basically there are 4 technologies from my research. I know there might be so many other methods of building desktop apps out there using the Cordova, and there are so many methods, but the most prominent ones that you are going to want to choose are 4. The first one is Electron JS. So Electron JS with Node.js runtime, okay, with Node.js. So this is the first one. The second one is Tauri or Tauri with Rust. The third one is Go with Wails. Okay, basically these are the ones, and then the first one is actually the Great framework. Okay, the Great framework. So basically we have these 4 frameworks that we want just to right now evaluate and know which one is good if you're going to build a desktop app. Which one would you pick in these 4 ones? At least I've been able to use 2 of them. I've been able to use Electron to build like a couple of apps, I think 2, and I've also used these last 2. So the only one I've not used is Tauri, but I've used the rest of these ones to build, and I'm just going to give you my opinion in today's video. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is, let me just actually give you a clear image here. So this is the first one, whereby we have the Electron architecture, and this one is basically you have Node.js as the backend, and then you have the Chromium engine, okay, and just these 2 coupled together to create Electron. So what's the problem with this? So to visualize the problem very well, I used here CRUD. So you see that the main runtime is Node.js. So Node.js itself uses V8 engine. Okay, it uses Node.js uses V8 engine. So when you bundle this, you can set this bundles to up to approximately 45 MBs. Of course, these are not actual figures, but when you are bundling, whether it is a small app or a big app, it always ends up by actually bundling to this. Then it also uses the Chromium browser. So the Chromium browser itself, which is also uses the V8 engine, and this one adds up to about 150. So when you add these 2, because every Chromium window, every window in Electron is a browser. It's like every window you can see is a fresh browser, which actually takes like about 150. So if you just see in the description here, is that the defining feature of Electron is the multiprocessor model. So one Node.js main process plus one Chromium renderer per window. This is per window. and every renderer is complete isolated copy of the Chromium browser. So your second window doesn't share memory with your first window. They communicate through what we call IPC channels, which is why if you just like building, you will see this IPC.main, IPC main.handle. You will see these ones when you just like using Electron. And if you have 3 windows, for instance, you'll be eating about 500 MBs of RAM. And this I had to experience it by myself. I first built the first point of sale. I think I made that video. I don't know if I shared it on YouTube or it is on my LinkedIn, but I have that video where I built the the Electron. I built an Electron app, and in fact, I switched from Node.js to Golang. It still gave me about 150 MBs. From 300, it reduced to about 150 MBs, and just I lifted that. Actually, that app didn't go to production. I started just like making more research to see how I can reduce that. So the Tauri, which fixes the bundle size by giving up the Chromium, so this it removes the Chromium thing, but then adds a new friction. But this you can see for Tauri, you can use your React or you can use HTML, and it uses system WebView. Okay, for it uses system WebView, you can see not bundled, and it also just has this JSON IPC bridge. Okay, but I think Tauri is much far better. So if you look at this diagram for Tauri, I think for it is far much better by eliminating the Chromium browser altogether. So it uses this web view, and this really makes it to be small. Okay, but the problem when I want to just use Tauri is that it has 2 big problems in my case. The first one is that Rust is very complex to learn, not as easy as Golang or Node.js. So there's a steep learning curve to learn Rust. And the second thing was the community. Tauri is a bit new, and some of the things are not working by default. So you have to really go through a lot of quirks to fix them. So it is not that mature as Electron. And that's why I chose even Electron in the first place. After comparing Tauri and Electron, I chose Electron because of being that some of the things are not working by default. And you find that you will have to write the Rust backend, and you're not so good in it. So I left it at that. But this one, apart from those 2 problems, is really good. If I would choose apart from Grid, I would choose Tauri or Tauri. I don't know the right one pronunciation. The third architecture is the Wails. So this one actually added it together, but I just want to show you how Wails do this. So this is Wails is actually a Go and web like mixed together. So it's just the way you see Tauri with Rust. So this Wails is with Go. And when I found out about Wails, I was really impressed because there is actually no binding. Like what is binding them is that you can call Go methods. So you have like a greet method here. So you can see in the Go, you can write a greet method here. And then you can actually call the greet method direct from JavaScript. Okay, you can just call this direct from JavaScript. And I was like, oh my God. So this is so good that I actually just like tried to build this, and it bundles a very tiny app. Okay, so I was super moved by this architecture of Golang with the Go methods binding directly or calling them directly in JavaScript. Okay, so then I actually built Grid desktop. So Grid, we know very well that you can scaffold web apps you can, like, grid has developed to become really, really complex and flexible. So if I just go to right now grid, and most especially if you just go to under here, they take the stack selector, you reset. We have a lot of stacks right now. Okay, we have a lot of stacks for building different tools, like for desktop app that is always online, that is always offline. That we have a lot of stacks that I have put them together. But one thing that is in here is we have two architecture within grid. So let me just bring up here grid. So grid has a lot of things, but what I did is I said, okay, so I can get Wails. Okay, I can just get Wails and I put it with TurnStack. So I, instead of just like running it in typical React, I put it into TurnStack for easy routing and all that. And the one thing that I changed also, so for grid desktop, or for when you're using grid desktop for Wails, we have two architecture patterns that we have in here that I just want to explain when it comes to grid. So grid has two architecture. Is why we use Wails the way just modified. So basically is why we use Wails. Okay, Wails plus TurnStack. Okay, while we use TurnStack, I think TurnStack router, and then there is here on the second one we use Wails. Okay, we use Wails plus, so in plus TurnStack. Okay, but plus the API. So here the difference is that Go API. So here the thing is plus, so I'm just going to put here plus Go method. So basically like these Go methods. So this one is broken. I'm just going to actually just like put this Wails in here. We have this Go methods. This is the default architecture of Wails. Like you have these Go methods or the Go functions, calling them in TurnStack router directly without doing this. And this one is really super powerful when it comes to building desktop isolated. I just use this one for isolated desktop apps. Okay, so desktop apps, and this also is good for the offline apps. You get so what I mean here, isolated desktop apps, is that it means in this case you don't need to expose the API. You simply aiming to build a desktop app, and you're not thinking in the future maybe to use this API for things like mobile app or web app. So like this is for typically very extremely fast desktop apps, and this one by default we give it to you in a grid, just like this. But because I actually got into a scenario whereby a client wanted a desktop app plus a mobile app, like this is the, I think, the most common scenario whereby you need a desktop app, desktop plus the mobile app. Okay, mobile app. And this is like, I think, I don't know if this is a common architecture, but you find that someone wants a desktop app plus even a mobile app plus even a web app. Like the architecture had to modify it to something like this now. Okay, so instead now of communicating via the Wails Go methods, we are now communicating via the API. But I can tell you this is still extremely fast. As you can see here that this is extremely fast, and this is using the API that is really hosted. You can see that the app is extremely really fast. Okay, and the sizes of these apps, if I can show you, I have them here. So this is the other first one, this the rental manager. You can see here it is 13 MBs, 13.2. This business management platform is 16.7, and this is just like really huge because this one has mart. This is a mart client, a mart business model, whereby we bring in different models, each with its own data and category and so on and so forth. But this is really really good, and I wanted to show you the overview of all the three, so that you can just visualize this really well. So you can see the Electron versus Tauri versus Wails versus Grid. So in Grid, I went ahead and I made a lot of modifications to more especially to Wails. So I got this normal Wails the way it's supposed to be, and I just went and I did a lot of a lot of modifications, and I added it into Grid framework. So if you just want to try out or to see this, you can just actually go to Grid. If you just go here to the stack selector here, there is where we have Grid. It has all these different ones or different ways of building things. You can see we have like the triple, we have the double app architecture, the single app architecture, and like we have really so many ways of building. But if you're like so much interested in the desktop app, they can see desktop app with offline capability. We have two paths. So like a standalone offline first, this is single user, no server. Like this is the one I told you, the Grid new desktop app like this. Pure Wails app with local SQLite, no server, no cloud, no auth. The user is, so like this is the one I told you in the first place. And then we have this multi-user offline cloud sync with the offline and all this. So you can just also use this. And so as you continue, you will just read about them, how they differ, okay? How they differ if you want to add in mobile, if you don't want mobile. So you can see, for example, we have web, mobile, and desktop. You can just use this architecture and all these ones. You can just go ahead and try them out, and you will let me know. Okay, yeah, so this video I was breaking down the desktop app. If you find this very helpful, go ahead and subscribe and also share the video with others. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.